All right, Danielle, we're here for episode 11. How you doing today?
Pretty good.
You know, I'm a little concerned about something. Did you see that Jeep stole our music?
No.
Yeah.
Stop.
No, so like the music that you're going to hear in a minute from our podcast?
No, they did
They stole
not.
it. Jeep stole our music. So there's a Jeep commercial out there right now, and they literally stole our podcast music.
Well, I guess let's just say that that's a compliment.
Yeah, I think it's a compliment. Now, you know, this is the same company that had Bruce Springsteen do the Super Bowl ad that was in Nebraska. You know, maybe this isn't all coincidental, but your husband, he's in the Chevy and the Toyota world, right?
Chevy, Cadillac, yes.
Yeah,
Toyota.
and I drive a Ford, so I don't know how Jeep just took our music like that. But anyway, I don't know.
I don't know. That's crazy. So this is similar in the marketing world. Sometimes when you buy stock photography, you'll find that like other businesses are using the same photography that you're using. So that's why it's so great to use local photography, because then it's yours. You don't run into that.
You know, you choose a lot of music and things like that the bank uses. How do you go about picking stuff like that?
I mean, you just find a source, and you have to be careful, especially with music, with licenses and photography, with any of that when you're buying it from like a company that does that. So you have to make sure that you've got the correct licenses and permissions to use it. But then the downside is just that other businesses or other people can use that same license.
Well, anyway, I'm kind of complimented that Jeep is using our music, so I think it's all good.
You had me because you told me that you had a good host chat. I was convinced it was going to be something Bachelor related. I was like trying to anticipate what Ty was going to talk to me about, and I was just certain that you had like listened to one of my Bachelor pods.
Nope, I'm not to that point yet, but I did turn the TV on and caught the Jeep ad, so you should be proud of me.
All right, well, here in a couple weeks, a new season of The Bachelorette is going to start, Ty, Monday nights. I think you should watch it so we can talk about it and review it on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Maybe until Monday Night Football starts.
Okay, fine. Okay, well, today we have some awesome guests on the pod that I'm excited to announce. Josh Harm is going to join us here from the bank, commercial lending manager. And we've got Shae and Jeff Caldwell. Last episode 10, we had Brennan Costello on the podcast, and he's from UNL Angler Entrepreneurship Program. He's an expert on entrepreneurship, and that interview was jam-packed with really good information. If you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur or you are an entrepreneur, you might find some value in that. That was episode 10 if you want to go back and give it a listen. But on that episode, Brennan talks about his tour in North Platte, and he stopped at Whitetail. That was one of his stops while he was here with his class. And it's really apparent in that interview that he was very impressed with Jeff and Shae Caldwell and the businesses that they manage. So we decided it would be a perfect time to have them on the pod. So Jeff and Shae bought a small screen print business, which they'll talk about nearly a decade ago. Together, they've led the business through growth and now manage 4 businesses: Whitetail Screen Print, Whitetail Cycle Sport, Whitetail Outpost, and Whitetail Management. I was going to list all of their community boards and committees, but the list is too long. So I will mention a couple notable awards. The couple was named North Platte Entrepreneurs of the Year in 2019. Shae is a past recipient of the Women of Achievement Award and was actually our keynote speaker this past year. And Jeff was recently awarded the Excellence in Tourism Award in Retail. So we are excited for this conversation with the Caldwells. Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Ty.
Together, we are hosting the NebraskaLand Bank Podcast. We promise this isn't some boring bank podcast.
That's right. We aim to entertain. Listen in every other Monday, and we'll tackle topics like finance, business, sports, community events, and maybe even a course or two of great food finds.
We're always community-minded.
Every voice.
Every topic.
Every time. So turn the volume up, settle in,
and let's talk NebraskaLand. Okay, well, thanks for hopping on with us today, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the invite.
And Jeff, Shae, thanks for coming on the pod.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I'm addicted to listening to it, so it's fun to be on the other side now.
Yay, that's so awesome to hear. Thank you. So why don't we start by telling us, I love your story. I love hearing about how you guys are kind of these self-made entrepreneurs, and tell us about how you got started.
I mean, honestly, everything we get into, I say is Jeff's fault. So whether that's good or bad, it's always Jeff's fault. We actually were approached to take over Patty's Cycle Sport bike shop. She was ready to retire with her husband. And so we got everything in place. We were ready to take over. And at the last minute, she decided she couldn't give it up. It was her baby, and she just wasn't ready to give it up. In the meantime, we had an idea for an apparel line to go with the bike shop. And we had heard that another business in town was wanting to sell some of their equipment. So we went to go talk to them, and they said, we'd kind of just like to sell the whole business. So Jeff had job shadowed for a couple months, and they maybe did like 8 jobs. And we thought, this will just be a hobby. We'll do the 5Ks, the shirts for the races, and it'll just be a little hobby. So we really prayed about it and decided that we would purchase that business since we had the location and everything already. And little did we know that little hobby was going to turn into a full-time plus job. So that's kind of how it started. And then, fast forward a few years, we ended up with the bike shop anyway. And then we added the archery shop, and my husband started buying buildings. And that's how management came about. So again, it's always his fault.
That's a cool story. I'm curious, did you guys, did you know that you had an entrepreneurial spirit, or kind of that's something that you wanted to do prior to that? Or at what point did you decide that this is something that you had a passion for?
Being a teacher and Jeff being an engineer on the railroad, I think I've always been super organized and I think really creative. And so that lended itself to just that entrepreneurial spirit. I don't think we ever set out to own all of these businesses and do all of this. It just kind of fell on our laps. And with his ability to find these opportunities and my organization and his grit, and I think it just kind of happened.
So she's correct on a lot of that. I do give her a lot of praise on that part, on being really organized. I'm somewhat organized too, but she does it really good on paper. I grew up in a business atmosphere with my parents owned a business. So since I was a little kid, all I remember is working. But my dad always said, we work hard, we play hard. And I'm still the same way. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt first, but I give them 100% credit, and I'm willing to help anybody. So that's kind of how we all got started with this. And once we took off and we knew what we were doing for North Platte, the smiles on people's faces, once that happened, we were addicted. So yeah, you're going to please 90% of the people. You're always going to make somebody upset, but we always try to do our best to make it right with them, even if they're upset with us. It's just the way it's been our whole life. So
one thing that was brought up in the Brennan episode is what drives people. And it's not always business owners. It's not always the money that's the driver. It goes far beyond that. And so tell us what drives you guys, what keeps you pushing you forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, like Jeff said, what really pushes us is to want to make our community a better place. And so we find these needs and we try to meet these needs within our community. And it really never has been about Jeff or I. It's never really been about Whitetail. It's been about what we can do for the community in trying to make it a better place. We're so passionate about downtown, and we hope that shows with the things that we've done with the buildings we've purchased down there and the things we're continuing to work on. But I really, truly think it's just trying to make our community a better place to live, vacation, whatever.
yeah, there's a lot of great people downtown too. And we all get together, whether we're at the monthly meeting or maybe even having a drink sometimes, but we all are getting on the same page of what we'd really like to see in downtown. And you're always going to hear the negativity. We've heard it for years and years and years. But the thing is, we can do something about it. And that's our goal. I mean, we could be on Earth a day. We could be on Earth another 30 years. The thing is, if we try our best, and we have kids, so we're trying to be good role models. You know, we might all made mistakes growing up, but we're getting to be adults now, and we're hoping people follow us. And
he says he's getting to be an adult now, but I'm not so sure about that.
I hear it because I just turned 50. So I've heard every old joke there was. In fact, you guys with the pacemaker and the thumping on the speakers earlier, I hear it all. So I'm good. So we just got to make a difference.
And I think that's important too, is that we try very hard to be proactive rather than reactive. And I think that's gotten us pretty far.
I love it.
Yeah, I've had the cool opportunity to kind of work with these guys for the past, like almost 10 years. And so they're not just the walk or talk the talk, they actually do it. And so I'm curious, where do you think that passion for North Platte, where does that rooted from? in terms of, experiences in your life, or where does that come from?
North Platte has a lot of great options and great opportunities here. We have a lot of potential. We have great lakes. We have great parks, museums. Railroad, of course, has been here, and they've done and donated a lot throughout the years to make North Platte really good. The businesses that are popping up now you're seeing a lot of good effort. So the passion, we live here. Why not make it the best? We want people to come in here and go, wow, instead of just stopping at the interstate getting gas, we want them to maybe drive into town and like, hey, you got to try this little place out, or try the little ice cream shop downtown, or go to Cody Park, that's what we're about.
And I think to answer your question, Jeff and I are both very passionate people by nature anyway, but he is one of those people that will give you the shirt off of his back. And it doesn't matter how busy we are, because we are incredibly busy, and he hates that word. But the reality is we are very busy people, but no matter how busy we are, we will drop everything to help anybody in need, whether it's for a community event, our friends, our family, whatever. And I think that just comes from the way we were raised, and we're trying to raise our kids to be that way as well. So I think it's just that. I think we were just raised to be that way, to just work hard and play hard, like you said.
We're very proud of North Platte. You got all the track teams right now that are qualified to go to state. We had basketball, we had volleyball, we had all these things. We love it. We were Bulldog. I was a Bulldog. I've had friends through St. Pat's, Hershey, Maxwell, all the surrounding communities. And when they send kids to go to state, that's like an honor to print their shirts and get them done for them as quick as we can, so they don't have to wait and worry and stress about it. So we're tied into that a little bit, and that's a great feeling. We're just not throwing you something quick and saying, get out the door. We take a lot of pride in that.
So you mentioned your work in downtown and your passion for downtown North Platte. I know that you guys own a couple of buildings down there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what it's been like becoming an owner of downtown buildings and what it's been like renovating?
So we started on the north side. And then when the opportunity came up to buy a building in downtown, everyone said, don't do it. That's where businesses go to die. And we thought, nope, that was a challenge for us. And so we couldn't wait to get that building and start renovating it. And then that led to another building that was available. And then that led to Parkade Plaza, which was a huge building that was available. And if you would have asked me 10 years ago, if I thought we ever would have owned one, let alone three, let alone a strip mall downtown, I would have said you're crazy. So I think when we started 10 years ago, we had this idea. We came in and talked to Josh. It was an awesome partnership, because where Jeff is such a big dreamer, a big, big, big dreamer, Josh is the one that kind of keeps him a little bit grounded and says, okay, let's go through all the steps now and make sure this is really going to be what you think it's going to be. So he's that voice of reason. And it was just that great partnership. And like I said, Jeff just has these opportunities fall in his lap. And whether it's that energy he puts out there or what, I don't know what it is, but these things happen and he finds out about these things. And then he, of course, runs it by Josh, and it's just gone from one thing to another to another. So, we started with this small loan for a screen print shop, and now we run a strip mall.
Good ideas take good execution. So the credit goes to both of you for realizing the dream that you had. And so it's been a pleasure for us as a bank to be able to help you along the way. But ultimately, all the credit goes to you guys for sure.
I think the exciting part of that is the screen print. Ken and Connie Bible that we got the screen print from were great people. Ken was fantastic. If there was any questions I had ever, he stepped up. And that, to me, we carried on what they were doing. There's no difference in the cycle sport. I loved Patty and what we did and the experiences that she gave me at that time. The screen print and the biking part is what we do. We are the riders. We do this. It's what we do, so we can relate. And you know what? I don't care where you get bikes, what you do. I just want you to ride and have fun and have good experiences. So we were really lucky to have two very passionate people with businesses that we were lucky to carry on for them. The archery, that's another family thing that we started with family. We couldn't do it without family, and we have great support. So that part, we're very, very blessed, and that's why we do it.
What's interesting about when you guys have ideas, the first word is never, hey, Josh, I think I have an idea that we can make some money on. That's never the first goal. It's, hey, Josh, we have an idea. We think we can make XYZ better about North Platte, and that's the motivating factor from step one. And so I can say that without a doubt. That's kind of the motivator behind all their decisions. what some people may not realize is that one of the services that the bank provides is the ability to do renovation lending on buildings like downtown, where it's going to take some acquisition costs and then some costs to kind of make the building what you want it. And that's a product that we provide, is renovation lending, where we will supply the funds needed to then make the building into what they want it to be. So
it is great to have someone you could call any time of day or night. He'll get back to you. Even if I have to throw him a text on the phone, he'll get back to me. But it's great to know that you have somebody there. And that's really huge for us. So,
and someone who's going to be honest. Like, some bankers maybe are out for themselves and thinking, oh, how can we get this loan and charge them a ton of interest and make some money on them? I feel like Josh has our best interests at heart too, and is very supportive but is also very realistic with us. Like, I don't know if that's going to work, and let's maybe try it at this angle. And so we've really appreciated that partnership. And really everything Whitetail has done has been about a partnership, whether it's with the bank, with the city, with the downtown, whatever we're doing, we try to make it this partnership that works for everybody involved.
The city is a big step too. They really have stepped up on a lot of things. We all in the past talked probably a little negative on it, but the city really does step through, and they do a lot. And I'm proud of them. I mean, the guys that are running the city now and doing some of the things, and the workers, you're seeing a lot of positives. So we're really lucky.
Okay, so I have to know, renovating a downtown building has to have some interesting aspects or finds to it. What is something that you've run into in your Paramount building that might surprise our listeners?
So I will start by saying one negative to buying buildings downtown is every single building we have purchased has flooded. We were just talking about that today. But one of the things that we uncovered at the Paramount, I didn't realize that there was a pipe organ in there, and we found some of the pipes. And then I also didn't know that there was this drop ceiling on the 3rd floor, and we took out that drop ceiling, and there was this beautiful painted ceiling. Like the whole thing is painted. So that was kind of a cool discovery.
Yeah, back in the day, those Paramount buildings, they painted the sides, the whole ceiling, and to expose that top and to really get to see it, we're happy to show tours and take tours up there just to show the ceiling. There's so much up there that people don't know.
And then we accidentally found a basement the hard way. Our poor little dog, we heard her barking and crying, and we didn't know what happened, and she had fallen in, and there was water down there. And Jeff just reached down and somehow found her and grabbed her and pulled her out. Saved her life.
True. Very lucky dog. That's why that's why the dog loves me more.
True.
So what do you guys have in store for these buildings that you're now managing?
So Paramount is actually full on that 1st floor. We don't have anything in the works yet for the mezzanine or the 3rd floor, just because of the expense of having to put in the fire sprinklers and that second exit from the 3rd to the 2nd and then the 2nd to the 1st floor. Right now we call it our fantasy factory, where we have a child who still is growing up and playing sports and doing all of those things. It's her kind of play area. She's got a full-size basketball court up there, batting cages. So she just goes up there and hangs out. Dad plays up there too, because, we already had the conversation that he's not quite grown up yet.
It's mostly Dad.
Yeah, it is. We have big dreams with that too. Like, we'd love to put a rooftop bar up there or something exciting. I don't know. So we'll see what happens with that. As far as Parkade Plaza goes, we feel a lot of pressure to put something in that Alco building that will meet the needs of our community. And so our ultimate goal is we would love to put a grocery store in there, to have something for the North Side residents, even the downtown people, where they could go in and get their fresh meats and vegetables and their groceries, all of their needs. So that is our big goal. It's a little bit harder than people think it is to try to negotiate for that space and find somebody who has the entrepreneurial spirit like we do and take a chance on that. So that would be our major goal. But we do have some things in the works for that space that you should be seeing happen here shortly.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
It is exciting. I love it. Right now, I have a perfect garage.
Yeah. He has a 36,000 square foot garage right now. We were driving through it the other day. He was taking his truck and doing donuts. I said, not many people can say they've driven through the Alco building.
Yeah, I know that.
That sounds like Jeff.
Yeah. I love it. Well, it's such a pleasure to work with you. I get the pleasure of working with Shae and Jeff on the North Platte Trails Committee, and I can totally advocate for everything about what motivates them and that Jeff is a dreamer and all of the things. But I think that you guys are also a huge inspiration to the fitness community. Can you tell us a little bit about your involvement? I mean, with the marathon, with the campfire run, just in cycling in North Platte?
Yeah, we do a lot of races that we organize. Some of them are 5 and 10Ks, like the one at Potter's Pasture, the Campfire Run. This will be our 10th year because last year was supposed to be, and we all know how that went down. So this will be our big 10th anniversary of our Campfire Run out at Potter's Pasture. This will also be our second Buffalo Bill Rough Rider Gravel Grinder, and that's on June 5th. And it is actually a gravel bicycling race. And for those of you who kind of want to get your feet wet, but you're not sure about it, there is a 25-mile distance. And then there is a 60-mile and a 120-mile. We used to do the Maranatha Triathlon until, last year when that kind of hit. So we've put a pause on that one for a while. We're involved we do Ironmans, we do gravel bike races, 200 miles on a tandem. People always ask us how we can work together. Like, that's not the concern. The concern is, how do we ride a bike together for 200 miles and not kill each other? It is the ultimate in marriage counseling. We take our daughter on a triple and we ride that all the way across Iowa every year. So that's a lot of fun. And Jeff is just very big on inspiring others in their fitness journeys. There are so many people that you can talk to that it's kind of a joke now that if they see him calling, they don't answer because they know that he's going to get them involved in some kind of huge race or some kind of athletic feat that they probably don't want to do, but they can't say no to him.
Very true. I think this last year, I've had to reflect a little bit on some things and just kind of enjoy some things that are going down. But I'm just really proud of a lot of people in the fitness series who just started, 5-6 years ago. I can picture them, and to what they're doing now, like, it can bring tears to your eyes. It is that awesome. Like you, Danielle, when you got on your bike the first time riding, how the excitement you had. I get that excited too, watching you do it. The people that you're always supporting everybody, and health's very important. I mean, we could all die. That's my negative part, I guess, at any time. But the thing is, it makes you feel so good to go do it. And if you can bring that in your workout and then bring that to work and bring that to when you meet other people, be a whole lot more positivity going on. There's just a lot of negativity going on right now with that. But the Platte Fitness Series and the events that we do and role models for my daughter, we've done a lot of things. I got a great group of guys that do a lot for us, helping us put trails together and help us out. I'm pretty blessed to have all those guys with us. And we all share, and our families all share these memories together. And there's a lot of great things that we've done. So
when he said that he's had a lot of time to reflect, what he means is he tore his bicep. And so he has not really ridden his bike for a year. He's finally just now kind of starting to a little bit. But so it's been interesting in our house.
It's been emotional, a roller coaster, I can tell you that. But it's good. We're going the right direction.
Well, you guys are, like I said, just such an inspiration. And I appreciate always being able to come to you with questions or whatever it is that I have when considering these types of events. And Jared and I, probably a couple of years ago, a year-ish ago, came to you guys. You tuned up our bikes and gave us all the things. We got Grace set up with our little trailer, and we were going to become bikers, a biking family. Jared was really excited about it. Guys, we went on one bike ride and Jared won't even consider it. He's like, no, I'm not doing it again.
Because his booty hurt
because
too bad?
his booty hurt too bad.
You can come down. My wife will rub it out.
We just got to give him bigger seat.
Not what I was expecting. I thought you were going to say a pair of shorts or something.
Yeah, a pair of shorts.
Let's
Bigger
go
seat.
that direction, please.
Well, I need you to work on him a little bit with your inspiration, because now it cracks me up, because he's like, one time, and it was not even probably 3 miles. So I'm calling you out, Jared.
Yeah. You got to build that callus on the booty. And once you do that, then it's easy peasy after that.
If the bike fits him right too. If the bike's a little small, there's a lot of things that can make that butt hurt a lot worse. So we'll get him. We'll get him
need
set.
to come in and get fit. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Jared, we'll see ya soon.
Bring all your boys. Let's go.
Yeah.
Also, one other cool thing, you were talking about some stuff. I know Shae's been she's pretty good at talking and has good notes and stuff like that. But I tell everybody it does take a team, and that's where we are good with a team, teamwork wise. I do dream a little. I get her outside her comfort zone a lot, but she does step forward, and she does step forward too, because my daughter, Piper, she sees what mom's like and she sees how dad is. So they're so smart at that age. But I tell everybody, if you guys have any questions, I mean, we know a lot of people now in town. We try to do good with them all. So we do have good connections, and Shae does really good with that. So I tell everybody, if you got any questions on anything, on wanting to put a race together, if you have someone who might have passed away and need t-shirts or want to raise some money, don't be afraid to talk to Shae, because she is really good at that, can save you a lot of money. And we want it to be an easy process. And that's what we do together, is making it easy. So
during my Women of Achievement speech, one of the things that I really highlighted was we didn't get where we are without other people's knowledge and help. And so bring those people along with you and pass it on. Don't be so stingy with your information. Go out there and offer people advice and help them start up their businesses. And so we've had tons of people come into our shop and say, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you get a tax ID number? And some of those simple things that I think are simple are not to other people. And so being able to share that knowledge and help them along the way makes us feel good too, because we're able to then, it's not competition to us. We want as many businesses in this town as we can possibly have, because that's just going to make us better.
That's a really good outlook.
Before we get into trivia, the Parkade Plaza, this is just a little prediction. This is me looking in a crystal ball here. I think whatever ends up happening in the old Alco building, it's going to be the cherry on top of this downtown renovation that's gone on. I mean, our downtown has changed so much, and the investment by all the building owners, all the work, renovation, the city's big investment. It's just such a great place to be. Whatever you fill that space with, I got a feeling it's just going to top everything off down there. So I can't wait. Can't wait.
I really hope so. And a lot of people have come in asking if we're concerned about the mall and if that's going to hurt us. Heck no, that's going to help us. Like I said before, the more retail, food, whatever it is that's in our area, that's just going to help all of us. And so bring it on. We're ready.
That's the right attitude. My whole youth, my parents were in the furniture business, and they always told me, they said it's a community's job to grow things, and then it's our job to create more business out of the growth going on. I was so thrilled to see the Downtown Association so well represented, and downtown business owners at the city council meetings talking about the mall project. You guys really get it. Positive energy is going to create growth, and growth creates more business in this town. It's exciting.
It is exciting.
And I'm a huge proponent of shop local. Shop local. And that just gives us more opportunity to actually shop local. As long as people try, that's all I ask. But this will actually, now they'll be able to shop local and find what they need. So it's exciting.
Speaking of exciting, we've got a little twist on the trivia game for this episode. Is that right, Danielle? Do you want to walk through how the trivia is going to work?
Sure. So this time the tables turn a little bit, and we have some statements prepared that are true and false about both Shae and Jeff. And Ty and I have to work together to guess which one is true and which one is false. And if we get the majority incorrect, then Shae and Jeff win, and they get to award the donation to the charity of their choice. If Ty and I guess the correct answers, the majority of the correct answers, then we get to award a charity.
Yeah, so this is kind of a truth and lie type of thing, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to give us 2 truths and 1 lie, or how's this going to work exactly?
Well, that's up to you. I can do either way. How about let's do 2 truths and a lie, and you guys pick the lie.
Okay.
How's that sound?
And we'll do it 3 times, so then
Yes.
2 would be the majority, and that'll determine the winner or the loser between us, right?
Yes. Okay. So this first one is about Jeff. Okay. So these are 2 truths and a lie about Jeff. All right. So, and this was a lot harder than you would think, because we actually discovered there's some pretty cool things that have happened in our lifetime. So it was kind of fun. All right. So these are about Jeff. Jeff was recruited to the Junior Olympic ski team. Jeff was the homecoming king. Jeff beat Lance Armstrong in a race during Ragbri. And Ragbri, remember, is that when we ride our bikes across Iowa every year, that's called Ragbri.
Tick
This is
tock. Tick tock.
Okay, so let's break this down, Danielle. So the Homecoming King thing, I can't remember. I'm just a little bit younger than these guys, and I don't remember. That seems pretty believable. The ski thing
does seem believable.
Ski thing seems believable, maybe too believable. But then the Lance Armstrong, I mean, how would you make that up? Right?
So is Jeff a native of North Platte?
Yes.
So we don't really ski in North Platte, right?
People.
I mean, they travel to ski, but like you don't get, like you would think that if you're recruited for the Olympics for skiing, you've got to be like skiing like all the time from the young age, right?
Yeah, I think we've smoked out that the lie is the first one. It's the ski team deal.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Wrong.
What?
Oh.
Yes, he was actually recruited to be part of the Junior Olympic ski team. He is a phenomenal skier.
Just add that to the list of
who would have knew?
Who would have
guessed that?
Okay.
And then he was the homecoming king. He was actually supposed to be prom king as well, but they felt it was unfair to give it to him twice. So he was the homecoming king for the class of 1990. We did race Lance Armstrong, but remember, we're on a triple. He's not. So we raced him, but we did not beat him.
He was with Matt Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson. It was an awesome group. And we were on the triple right next to him. It was pretty special.
We thought we gave him a run for his money, but then we didn't even see him after that.
Yeah.
Okay. I should have paid a little closer attention to that detail. I thought that, you got us.
Okay. All right. Now, these are about me. All right. Our 2 truths and a lie. All right. Shaquille O'Neal palmed my 9-month pregnant belly. I have a degree in elementary education. I am a 2-time national champion baton twirler.
Well, I'm buying the elementary education degree.
I agree. I know she subs from time to time.
Yep. So you're down then, if we agree on that, we're down to Shaquille. And what was the other one? I'm losing
a 2-time national champion baton twirler.
I lean towards, you go ahead, because I got the last one wrong.
Well, I lean towards the baton twirling being the false.
Same.
You agree?
I agree.
Okay. The baton twirling we think is false.
Wrong.
What? You guys
we're horrible.
I love how serious you guys are on this too. You guys are so serious.
We're very competitive.
But let me just tell you something. And I could just guess by the way she tells the story, because how many degrees can you get? So what degree did you say?
Elementary education.
Elementary. What grades does she usually sub?
I have no idea.
My degree's in secondary education.
So it's just the little words, how sneaky.
So that was the false one?
That is the false one. My degree is in secondary education. When I was 9 months pregnant with Tanner, he's my 26-year-old, I worked at a resort in Arizona. I was the communications manager, and we housed all of the entertainment for the All-Star game, basketball game. And so it was all of those awesome basketball players in the 90s. It was Shaq. I actually rode in an elevator with Michael Jordan and his dad. And so we weren't allowed to ask for autographs or anything. And so I started to walk in, and I'm 9 months pregnant. And Shaquille O'Neal takes his hand, puts it on my belly, and says, "Security, she's trying to smuggle in a basketball." So, yeah.
That's a great story.
Yeah. I was serenaded by Boys to Men. It was awesome. It was such a great time. We had to do you remember Urkel?
Yeah.
Are you guys old enough to know Urkel?
I remember.
We had to take
Urkel.
him to the emergency room. He got really sick. Yeah, it was a crazy week. It was a lot of fun though. And then I am a 2-time national champion baton twirler.
I just can't believe these hidden talents that you both have.
Make sure next meeting, have her bring her batons.
Sold. I think that we need a video of it for the podcast Facebook page.
I think that would help.
I think we might have pictures.
That's very necessary.
What are you laughing at?
It's good. It's good stuff.
Okay. So here's the last one. And this last one will be more focused on our business. Okay. So 2 truths and a lie about our business. This is going to be tricky.
Hey, the good thing is 2 out of 3, right?
Oh, yeah. But
All
we'll
right.
just do this one for fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've lost.
I just wanted to hear him say that.
So you talked a lot about the awards that we have won. So yes, we have won a lot of awards, but Piper, our daughter, has our best Google review. Our mascot is a grumpy mouse. Danny Woodhead contracted us to make his DW39 apparel line.
I believe it about Piper.
I do too.
From when she was little, I remember going over to your north side location and she was always running around. She was the sweetest thing. So I totally believe that. I've never seen a grumpy mouse.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I have, but I'm trying to think if it's grumpy.
Oh.
I think that
Ooh,
might
he's
be.
reading into
I'm
things
learning
now.
a little bit to be a little more detail in these.
Oh, you're good.
And grumpy isn't their mantra.
That's very
It's
true.
very anti-grumpy. So I don't know. They might be tricking us again. I'm probably going with the grumpy mouse.
I'll go with you.
You're
on
going
that.
with us?
Yeah.
That the grumpy mouse is the lie?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yes,
guys
we
got that
finally
one
got
right.
one.
Look at, he was
You did.
reading into it. I
I
loved
know,
it.
that is so funny. There was a little boy who kept asking his grandma to go to the Grumpy Mouse store. And she could not figure out for the life of her what he was talking about. And one day they drove by and he was like, Grandma, there it is, the Grumpy Mouse store. He thought that our white-tailed deer, our Dino the deer, was a grumpy mouse. And so I had to explain to him that it's not a grumpy mouse, it's a determined deer. So
That's awesome.
Well, we officially lose, which means that you guys won. And nice job on that. So we'd like to know the $100 donated to the charity of your choice. And I know there's so many that you guys are involved in, but you get to pick whichever one you'd like, and we'll send $100 in your name as a donation.
Well, we appreciate it. And it was fun to watch you guys. And
watch him squirm.
I did. I watched them both squirm. I think we're all winners on this one. There's a lot of great places to donate, but the trails is where we're really pushing for, because without trails, we can't get to these places safely. I'd love to see more kids out riding their bikes, more parents out riding, helmets, of course, but we need trails. So please donate. Whoever's got time too, but we're going to go to trails. Sound good?
And Whitetail will match that $100.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I used the trails yesterday riding my bike and had a great time. And so, it's the way it connects people in the community and just embraces that healthy lifestyle. And what the great part about it is that as people are out and about more, they become more of a part of a community, and then that translates into business. You guys have really shown us that.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for your partnership and I'm like totally into podcasts now. Who knew?
Well, you were a great podcast guest, so we'll have to have you back sometime.
Thanks, you guys, for coming in today. It's great to see you.
Well, today's episode is brought to you by NebraskaLand National Bank. We are member FDIC and equal housing lender. Learn more about our podcast at NebraskaLandBank.com/podcast. And if you enjoyed the episode, subscribe to the show, leave us a review, and find us on Facebook. Thanks for listening to the NebraskaLand Bank podcast. Community-minded, every voice, every topic, every time.